everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, back with some more classic Spyro the Dragon, and I can't think of an adequately suave way to word that intro, so that's just what we're going to have to live with for the time being, and because I did all the introductory stuff in the last episode, we can just dive straight in with the next level immediately, and this is Dark Hollow, and it's technically level 1-2, but it will always feel like level 1-3 to me, because the last level that we did in the previous episode was like daytime, and the level we'll be doing after this is kind of evening time, and we're just diving straight in with a nighttime level. The time of day doesn't really have any bearing on the situation other than the aesthetic, but still. And this level, I believe, is the proper introduction of enemies where they make a distinction between whether you can kill them in any way or if you have to charge them, because if you try to fire attack an enemy with a metal shield, then that's not going to do anything because the metal kind of absorbs the fire, and you would have thought that would burn their little handsies, but no. And then the opposite of that are the giant enemies where charging into them doesn't do them a hurt at all because they're too big to take damage, so you have to kill them with fire instead. Speaking of fire, woof. Because dragons go woof, clearly. Ugh. Now, I would jump up to where that chest is and fly over there because there's a dragon over there and some treasure and some enemies and stuff, but might as well get the key to that chest first, because I happen to know where it is and it's near here, and this is an enemy that has both bigness and also metal, so this game is so fun that I don't know how to commentate it adequately. Perhaps I should have thought twice before let's playing this one. Now these are rather funny enemies though, because the timing on them is a bit weird. You have to charge at them whilst they're walking away from you, because their front side is protected by metal armor and their rear side isn't. But if they turn around, they do kind of scream in your face. Not Legend of Zelda Red style, just kind of bleh. Like Mons Zelmule on a Swegway wearing nothing but a plush wolf around his penis kind of bleh, you know? Anyway, first dragon of the episode. Oswin.
Psst, Spyro. Want to know a secret? Use the triangle button when you want to zoom in and look around. Oh, your secret's safe with me.
Now, one thing that you may notice organically, but I'm going to advise you to pay attention to it as well. Various dragons have different body shapes, and that, I believe, is tied to which class they are, because, as I said in the last episode, each of the homeworlds of this game, each of the hub areas that connect to all the different levels, are named after the various different classes of dragon, and we're currently in the Artisan's home, so we're going to be seeing predominantly Artisan dragons, but not completely. As I recall, if I can enunciate my S, there is some variety even within homeworlds of which dragons you see, just like in the real world, because some people who watch my videos are... Well, I know, for instance, one of my viewers who attends my streams regularly is a guy who is Polish, but he lives in the UK. So it's kind of like that. And whoops, yes, you can press the X button to skip the animation of the key going into the chest. And when I say it like that, it sounds suggestive, but it's an animation that you can skip in the name of time, and it's become a reflex because of the low percent run I did before this LP. Also, this is a same-day recording because I'm just a scrub like that, because I wanted to record over the weekend, and then I kind of didn't. Another dragon! So soon! Alban, hello to you.
Oh, it's you! I wasn't sure if you'd escape those annoying little creatures. Of course, they wouldn't bother me, but here's a hint. Metal armor is fireproof, but a charge attack will take care of them.
So, I have no idea what he was just saying because the TV's still turned down far too low, but Artisan dragons, they have kind of that head beard thing going on. Generally slender build. Trust me, when you see dragons of other classes, you will know. And then I ran out of words to say because I'm trying not to get hit by enemies, but then again... No, I have no subsequent explanation for it. I explained semi-goodly in the last episode. Spyro has 3 hit points, and then the 4th one causes him to die. So, at full health, Sparks the Dragonfly is yellow. If Spyro gets hit once, Sparks goes down to blue, and then again down to green, and then one more time and he goes completely. And then if Spyro is hit when Sparks isn't around, Spyro dies. So, he's surprisingly fragile. He's a tough little purple dragon creature, and the only thing keeping him alive is this glittery little dragonfly that can't make up his mind what colour he is, unless you're playing the Japanese version, in which case he's always green, but that doesn't make for a very good health indicator now, does it, Japan? And one last dragon for this area, Darius. Well, hello to you, good sir.
Big enemies like this Gnorc with the club cannot be charged, but a quick flame, that should defeat them.
I'm sure that was incredibly insightful, but once again I didn't hear a word of it. And as was alluded to in the previous level, in the previous episode, these little pedestals, where dragons are or were, if you step on them they light up, and that's this game's version of a checkpoint, so if you die you'll return to that point. And yay, we completed a level in, like, 6 minutes. I didn't realise I was that pro at this game, I'm sorry for being good. Now if you press the select button you can jump straight to the inventory, which shows you what percentage complete you are and how complete you are in each level, and it shows the levels in order. Not the order you visit them, but just the official correct order. I'm making air quotes and you can't see them. And that, you can just pause and select inventory, or you can just press select to go straight to the inventory, but why am I even giving you tutorial things? I'm the one playing the game. Now we can finally head to... oh yeah, also, I've discussed those pearls, haven't I? Yes. I can head to the 3rd level of the game, which, I believe that was the first portal I properly showed off, because I was in this area before when I was bitching about the Japanese version in the first place, and yes, Town Square is level 3. Even though you can tell by the background, it's sort of evening time. So, level 1, daytime. Level 2, nighttime. Level 3, evening time, because chronology. Unless it's sunrise, but it always felt evening-y here, and this level's fodder are chickens, so if you kill those chickens you can get health, but we're at full health, so shut up. Now, rather unsubtly, the Japanese name for this level is Glide Town, so, you know, 3 guesses for what the big gimmick here is, and the first 2 don't count, but first, another dragon! Nils!
Welcome to Town Square, Spyro. Begin exploring by gliding to that area with the bulls. Use the L2 and R2 buttons to get a good look.
Oh, the tutorial stuff. See, I could hear him fairly clearly, so I'm not quite sure why I've been struggling to hear the other dragons so far. And by the way, the subtitles, yeah, they're added by me in post. Also, these bulls, you can charge them and they sort of get stuck. Or if you flame them, they just die properly. Either way, you only get 1 gem out of them. Yeah, the subtitles you've been seeing, I've taken the time to add them in post because I care that much, and this is a weird type of chest. Okay, I've not really discussed them properly, but these chests, you can break them by charging or by flaming. The metal ones, you can't flame because they're metal, but you can charge them. These, you can flame them or charge them, and a gem pops out the top. And then when you grab the gem out the top, it explodes, and I've never understood that type of chest. It's just so weird. And I think it took me a while to work out what their deal was when I first played through this game as a child, a long ass time ago. I would say, speaking of long asses, here's another dragon, but I don't really see the connection between what I just said and this dragon. Devlin! Hello.
Thanks, Spyro. I had the worst itch on the tip of my wing. Oh, did you know that you get your longest glides by pressing X at the very top of your jump?
I was just staring at that dragon's chest like... it kind of reminds me of a pineapple, but like a very blue pineapple. Bullfighter. Everyone dies equally, and yes, metal chests, you can't flame them because they're metal, so you charge them and you get their contents. Now, in later games, the red treasure chests were replaced with wicker baskets, and the metal ones were replaced with vases, so it makes a bit more sense in later games why there are these treasure chests and you can only break some of them, like only some of them are made of flammable materials and some of them aren't. Actually, it doesn't really make any sense. It just makes a bit more sense. I don't know, I'm trying to explain and I can't. Other dragons save me from my dearth of commentary. It's just, that's a thing, baskets and vases.
Spyro, did you see a man dressed in blue running around here? He's a thief, and he's stolen a dragon egg. You've got to track him down and get that egg. Run! Run! I'm getting a little winded.
I suppose I must have played at least Spyro 3 first, because the later games are much more heavy-handed about saying, yo, these are baskets, these are vases, flame these, charge these, because as a child, because I had that point of reference, I would always refer to the metal chests as vases, and the red chests as baskets, because I suppose to me I'll always imagine those red chests being made of either wood or, well, they probably are made of wood, or wicker or something. And this thief we're chasing here, if you don't catch him at the very start of his running cycle, you might as well give up. But because his running cycle's on a loop, it's no big deal. It's just, because the route he takes, because thieves in this game, their running routes can be kind of arse, because they can do things that Spyro can't. So just to demonstrate, he's down there now, he's gonna jump up there, and we kind of can't go up there, so we're gonna have to go all the way back around the way we just went, and it's kind of not really a hugely fun time. So with this thief in particular, and I know from experience because of my low percent run, because I needed to get a bunch of dragon eggs, and this was one of the guys that I one of the guys that I went after. You kind of need to get him at this corner, otherwise it's sort of difficult, because you can't really catch up to him in this upcoming corridor, and this animation is another one you can skip by pressing X. It's hard to catch up with him in this corridor, and then once you get to the end of here, he sort of jumps down there, and if you go to chase him, he jumps back up here and warps back to the start of his running route, so if you don't get him at that first corner, then you're gonna have a bit of a bad time. Trust me, I've been there. I bought the damn t-shirt. And one last bull for good measure. I was so worried that it was going to charge me and boop me back to the start of the level or something, because that's the start of the level right there, oh my goodness. Now, dragon, 2 more chests, and another weird type of chest. Now this one, it's metal, but you can't charge it because it's too tough. And if you flame it, it's like, yo, you can't flame this, it's metal, and the thing on top spins, and spin it more, and then it explodes, because logic. Also, the propeller, it took me ages to work this out as a child, but those boxes, the propeller flies off and smashes in the distance and makes the noise of a thing breaking, and as a child I thought, why do these containers make the breaking noise twice? It's because the propeller smashes off and disappears, and it's completely irrelevant, it's just atmosphere. Anyway, one last dragon, and it's Thor. What an epic name.
Thank you for releasing me.
For such a pathetic dragon. And oh my giddy wow. Yeah, we've been going for like 12-13 minutes, and I've already done 2 levels. And so I do believe, unless I've missed something really obvious, that that's kind of quota for this episode, so I suppose we should just go and take on the first boss. But then again, that's kind of the pace I was working to with Master Quest as well, because it took me about 2 episodes to beat the first dungeon and the first boss, so it's no big deal. Although I will say, I think the first boss of this game is far and away my least favourite. Because there's a type of enemy in here I suppose I should recognise. You do need to go into one exit, contrary to what I said in the last episode, you do need to go through at least one level's exit portal, I think? Maybe you just have to go into one level, I don't know, but this dragon mouth opens once you go through at least one exit portal, I think. And you can tell this is a boss level because the name of the level is a person name rather than a place name, and it says confronting rather than entering, because that would be sort of awkward if you had entering boss name, because kinky. So I mentioned before how boss levels in this game are kind of sort of themed after levels from, like, one level from each homeworld. And this one's sort of themed after Stonehill, but in, like, town square kind of lighting conditions. Now, these grey dog enemies, I fucking hate them. They gave me trouble as a child, they give me trouble to this day. They take 2 hits to kill, you have to flame them twice, and the strategy is either get really close to them and flame them twice, because once you flame them once, they go into their attack animation, which is to jump higher than you can and then flop onto you from above. And if you're close enough, then your flame can hit them before they reach the top of their jump, so that they die before they can hurt you. But the other... Can you not? The other suggested method of attack. Okay, rude, I hadn't even started attacking you yet, is to roll out of the way. And that's a lot more useful, but because the roll is a defensive mechanism that's not in any other classic Spyro game, I sort of forget it exists. And I was going to shit on it for being a kind of second-rate strategy, but actually, it's actually good, because those dogs can't hit you if you do it, so... Well, I mean, they can hit you, but you'd have to roll into them. It's a really good way of dodging their fuck attack, because it's... I hate these enemies, and as a consequence, I hate this boss. And yeah, I do appreciate, though, how bosses in this game are their own self-contained levels, but they are levels as well, not just a random fight, because the boss itself, Toasty himself, or herself, or itself, or theirself, or whatever, is its own character, it is its own boss entity. But it has a level attached to it as well, so it doesn't feel just like a random boss fight. Like, there is actually some build-up. You get to see what their domain is like. You get to experience the world in which the boss lives, over which the boss has dominion, or something. And I would go and get that dragon because the boss is through there, but there's this whole bit back here. And normally I'm on much lower health than this because I never use the roll attack, and I wish I had some justification for not using it. But no. I mean, in this particular alleyway, you've not really got much space to maneuver, so the traditional all mouths blazing kind of approach is more advisable, because then you won't accidentally roll off the cliff and die. What is rather useful, though, is when you tag a dragon checkpoint, that saves how many enemies have been defeated. So if I were to get that dragon and then die, all the enemies that I just killed will stay dead when I come back to life. So what's useful here is, there's the boss arena, there's one dog in there, and if I kill that dog and then come back, yes, the boss will be revived to full health, but that dog will be gone, it'll be a bit easier.
Nasty Nork has put one of his most devious henchmen in charge of the Artisan world.
Bring him on. I think I smell a barbecue.
Be careful, Spyro. This boss has many tricks up his sleeve.
Now, the bosses of this game, as I've said, are really strange, because they are just glorified enemies. Toasty in particular, or Wonder Pumpkin in Japanese, that will never not be funny to me. It just sort of stands there. He does run around a bit, he does try to attack, I suppose, but he kind of relies on the dogs to attack you, and because they're very fucky enemies, they do most of the killing for you. So, as I was just saying, if I were to kill all these 3 enemies, and then run back to this dragon checkpoint and save, if I do somehow manage to die now, yes, Toasty will respawn back here at full health. You need to flame him 3 times in order to win, because in this game all bosses have 3 health. If I were to die now, then yes, Toasty would be back to full health, but those 3 dogs that I just killed would stay dead, so I'd be at significantly lesser risk of losing health up to this point, and there's 3 dogs because it's hit number 3, and oh, the double death, not quite as impressive as anticipated. Wow, this was a lot easier than it was on my practice run because I never bother with the rolling maneuver, and also Toasty was a sheep on stilts the whole time. Biggest plot twist of my childhood. But yeah, I'm never going to get over the fact that Toasty's Japanese name is Wonder Pumpkin. So, that's the Artisan's home. We have totally done all the things that there are to do here. We have definitely 100% of this homeworld. There is definitely nothing else to do here. I'll leave you to extrapolate exactly what I'm getting at with this exaggerated tone of voice. But I'm not going to reference it directly, but I will just say, there's room for one more level in this inventory, but, well, we've scoured the entire homeworld and there's definitely nowhere another portal could be hiding, so we are to assume at this point that it doesn't exist and that we have completed this level, or homeworld, to as much of an extent as we can. And so, in the next episode we could talk to the balloonist as we were instructed to do, and open up the next world. So, yes, I have been and will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons, and in the next episode we will fly on a balloon to the next world. Yeah, give us my success bit. Lord me with praise. Yes, the Peacekeeper's world is the second homeworld, and we will see that in the next episode, so I think I've already outroed, so see you then.